Good afternoon, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 12th edition of Alabama Crimson Tide Live, right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football and the Voice of College Football Twits account. So I'm yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and I got my partner in crime, Johnny Burts, as we bring you quite a lot of our takes on Alabama football, including the recap of the Alabama LSU matchup that occurred on Saturday night, how it affects the SEC title race, the playoff race, Cupcake Week, as the title says. We'll be going over a little bit about the Mercer Bears. We're going to be learning quite a lot about them, and we also go over what we need to work on going into week 12. And I'm going to tell you something, it's going to be a wild ride. How you doing today, Johnny?
I'm doing well, doing well. It was a long weekend. I was over in Cleveland, Mississippi at Delta State homecoming game. I'm played at Delta State, and had a bunch of teammates were there. So I drove all the way from Huntsville to Cleveland, Mississippi. Stayed in the Delta a couple of days, and then drove back, and back at it today. So it was a good weekend, even though we were playing Valdosta State, and we took a licking, but it was a good game. And anyway, I think they'll probably want at 8-3. Valdosta is pretty good. They're number one in Nation Division II, and so would like to have won it, but it is what it is. But we're back home, getting ready for Mercer Bears.
There we go. And first, we like to dedicate this show to the veterans of this country, because like today is the 105th edition of Veterans Day in this country. We'd like to give a thanks to those that have served in the Army, the Navy, Air Force, Marines, and anybody, literally anybody that served in the military in any part of it. We'd like to thank you for your service, because without you, shows like this would not be happening. Mm-hmm. Especially my dad, who is watching this show. He served in the Iraq War, and he also served in the Kuwait War in the 90s. I'd like to give a thanks to him. And our friend Ben, the host of Oregon Live at the Voice of College Football at CFB After Dark, give a thanks to him. I mean, there's so many veterans that we know of that served that I don't want y'all to feel left out. So it's like, don't, but we'll make sure you get our thanks for sure, because we thank you so much.
Yeah, and like your father, my father served. He was in the Army, World War II, and he was a radio operator. He did Morse code and coordinated between where the bombs were going to be dropped, or the missiles and all that kind of stuff. Served under Patton, George S. Patton, no blood and guts, and served with him in North Africa, Sicily, and then the Battle of the Bulge over in Luxembourg. So anyway, General Patton's the only American general that is buried overseas.
Wow.
He's buried in the military cemetery there in Luxembourg, and he died immediately after the war. It was a Jeep accident or something, to that nature. And Dad always spoke fond of him. And so I went over there. I actually was in Luxembourg. I visited the grave. And it's a funny little footnote to it in honor of the veterans. But Patton's, he passed. And when his wife passed, she wanted to be buried with him. But she was not in the military. She did not serve. And so they would not allow her to be in the military cemetery there in Luxembourg. So what their son did is took her, she was cremated, and he took her ashes over to the cemetery over there and sprinkled them on, the grass on the grave and everything. So, but I had the pleasure. I really enjoyed visiting the cemetery over there. Beautiful, beautiful resting place for him. And I've been to Normandy, and looked at that, and that is breathtaking.
There we go. Also says, never had a family member serve, but I thank them for their sacrifice, and God bless America. Thank you.
Amen.
God bless America. But I can tell you, though, we've got some exciting holidays coming ahead of us. We got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming along. And chat, what's on your Christmas list? And Johnny, is your Christmas list all set yet?
What do I have on it?
Yeah.
Oh, I told you I'm still looking. I'm looking for my Air Pegasus. You know, my running shoes. I do a lot of running, and I've always worn Pegasus, but it's been a struggle here of late because I don't know, I've been thrilled with the color matches they have. So Santa Claus, find me a good pair of Pegasus, size 9. I got a small foot, and yeah, find a way to get them to me because I sure would be a happy camper on Christmas Day if I had my Pegasus. But other than that, just peace and happiness
There you go.
for everybody.
But there's one thing
Yeah.
you might want to add: the disputed national champions, college football's historical reset of the 1990s, written by Mark Rogers himself, where you will learn what happened during the 90s, how the decade changed the sport, why the championship results should be questioned, how to critically think through the scenarios, to appreciate the accomplishments of teams that were not recognized as champions. This book provides an in-depth analysis of the changes, controversies, and outcomes that defined a decade of college football. Grab your copy now. Oof. And, there's also, we've got some magic coming up from Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And especially if you're a YouTube member, of course. And what happens? You can become a Crimson Faithful member for $2.99 a month, where you can get a loyalty badge next to your name. You get a custom emoji, and you get a member shout out. And for $4.99 a month, you get priority replies to comments and access to a monthly hangout with me, Johnny, and Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports by becoming a Saban disciple. And for $9.99 a month, you can connect on social media with us and give out a content request by becoming a Bear Bryant legend. You can give out any kind of request. You can request us to get more recruiting news. You can give us like more requests on who you want to see on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. If you want us to get like a former player, former coach, literally anybody, we will fulfill that request. We will not let rain nor sleet nor snow, good internet, bad weather, nothing will stop us. We will fulfill that request because your investment is very important to us, and we want to make sure we protect it. And we're going to get that. We're going to get it taken care of for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a dominating Saturday night on ABC in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes, that old
wild.
Yeah, it was that old quote. Who would have thunk it? I was not prepared for that, not at all. But evidently, the week off, I don't know. Maybe Coach DeBoer maybe listened to me and let them get a little time off and go home and get refreshed and find the focus because they had a good intro to it. After the Missouri game and so yeah, they took care of business, and it was a different team, a different dynamic. Defense was much better. I'm telling you, once they got out of that 3-3-5, and now they're doing a lot of stuff, that we've done in the past. 4-man front, we're doing a lot of creativity, bringing some nice little stunts and some stuff on the outside. It's just everything now. It's just kind of turning, and this is a great time of year to. We need this headed into the final days of the season because it's a long grind. I mean, we're already 3 months into this. I mean, think about it, 3 months. And so it's a long grind for those players. But, the time off, getting healed. I know we'll talk about Q here in a little while. I know we lost him, but getting players healthy and getting, finding the rhythm.
Yeah. And I know I talked about this on Thursday night with Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports on the call-in show. We talked a little bit about what we needed to do against LSU. I basically said we need to do more of what we did against Missouri, and that was get that running game going. And, apparently we did that and then some. We had more yards than what we had against Missouri. That was pretty huge right there. Jalen Miller had a wild night on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think what happened is first start of the season we were, Ryan Williams came out of the box, and I mean we were hitting big plays, and so defense is going to start watching film, and I think they're playing a little softer out there and trying to prevent the big play, the long passes and stuff like that. Then, well, if they're going to try to take that away, then what do? Run the ball, and that's exactly what they did, and they had some. I looked at some of the play calls, and I looked at some. I just rewind and went through some of the plays and dissected them. It was very good execution. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. That first play, when they called that penalty, I was like, idiots! What have you been doing for 2 weeks? And they caught. Nah, that was my first little of angst. But then I started, you start watching it as it slowly developed. It creates this little story, little narrative, and I saw some great things on defense, better tackling, and yeah, we had some penalties, but nothing, nothing that would stall a drive out or anything like that. So there were a lot of positives, but the biggest positive came on defense. Because Garrett Nussmeier, I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's a good player. He knows where to go with the ball, and pretty much we kind of kept him corralled and contained and frustrated. And led him into, that Dante Lawson interception there. That was a critical point in the game, and because they had a good play designed up, and he reacted well to the ball, and caught Nussmeier thinking too, not paying attention, So anyway, it was very positive, good reaction over the last couple of weeks, and then you got Mercer, and then you got Oklahoma and Auburn, but. I mean, and obviously, Oklahoma's a good football program. They're not going to lay down and play dead. And then, Auburn's going to always come in and try to ruffle the feathers and stuff like that. And so we'll see. But for them, rolling up to 8-9 in the nation right now is pretty good. Pretty good. They're sitting in a very good situation. They control their destiny. And all you got to do is just get in the playoff. All you got to do is just get in there and let the chips fall where they may. But now they control. I was afraid they were not in control, but now they are.
Oh yeah.
And if you're a coach, that's where you want to be right now, in control.
Yeah, and so we looked at some of the plays. Like this is what happened.
Oh, this is beautiful right here. You got a few little pictures. This is the 70-yard Miller run for a touchdown. And it is a great design, great execution. I was so just mesmerized by this play. But you're going to see Bam Miller right here. He's going to move over. He's going to motion to the left. And then you're going to see the linebacker. You can see that linebacker right now looking right at him. And he's going to trail over. And then now that's going to leave 3 guys over there to the right side of the field. And so watch that linebacker follow. Go to clip 2 or picture 2. All right. And so now look at the linebacker following Miller at Bam as he goes Bam, is that jam back? Anyway, So you can see the linebacker following him over there. Now, the key right here is going to be number 52. This play looks like it's designed to go to the left side of the field, okay? But what's going to happen is 72, 56, and 75 are all going to block down to the left. 52 is just a trap play. 52 is going to pull out, and that defensive end right over there outside 75, he's going to have a bad introduction into number 52. And so right now the play looks like it's going to go left. So run to the next one. Not only anybody be confused, you can see, all right, everybody's blocked down. Now you can see number 52 moving out to number 4. And you can see Jalen is looking right through that little crease right there. And it seems like that's where the play is going. But you can already see number 22 starting to drift to the right. So now go to the next play or pick. And then now look at 52 right here. Kiss him in the mouth. Say, hello, number 4, your worst nightmare. So you can see everything has been blocked away from to the left side. And now the only possible person that can make that play is that free safety right there. But look who's looking right at him. Number 22. Go to the next one. Bam, look at 52. That guy's on his ASS. Okay? That's called a pancake. He is on his butt. All right? And so now look at 22. He's just going to get enough little trim on that safety. The only guy that can make the play. You can look over to the far right up at the defensive back over there. He's playing man-to-man. He has no idea where the ball is. And so watch 22 clip him and then go to the next one. Hey. Touchdown.
Hey,
70 yards untouched. Beautiful. I mean, that is beautiful execution, the beautiful design. I've been, I know I've been on them and I've been showing all these, bad picks and bad clips and stuff like that. But hey, I'm going to give credit when credit is due. That is the best play from Alabama this season.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody did their job. 11 for 11. And so, hey, good things happen. And then,
right.
we talked last week about the statistics. All right. And so I went back and I looked through there, and what we focused on was third down efficiency. You can see that right there. We focused on passing. You can see there. We went rushing. We talked about that. And then finally penalties. So you can look there. Now go to that final clip and let me show you what we learned and why Alabama won this one. I think it's screenshot 2. Right there. All right, when we went into this third down efficiency, then purple right there, the asterisk, nationally ranked, according to national ranks, LSU had a better third down efficiency rating. Look in the game against LSU, Alabama won that statistics. Total yards, LSU owned that advantage over Alabama going into the game. Look who won the statistic. Now, passing, LSU did lead in that category going into the game and did win, other than down at the bottom. You're going to see those interceptions, and did win. But when you can run the ball, why are you going to throw it? All right. So if you're going to run the ball, we're not going to throw it. I mean, if you're going to, that's what we're going to do. Run the ball. So anyway, we'll go down, and then rushing, you can see 311. That's what Alabama decided to do. Got away from the run, throw the football. And you can see right next to that 111th, there's still LSU, and I cannot fathom this. LSU is ranked 111th in the country rushing. And so look who going in, it was LSU leading, but look who won the final statistic. The penalties, Alabama barely. And then the monkey in the room always. Look at the turnovers. LSU 3. There's your ball game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Running the football. It seemed like, we talk about people are going to scheme and watch film. So it seemed like LSU was going to prevent the big play, throwing the ball down the field with Alabama, played soft coverage. Well, what do you do? Alabama ran the football, ran it all over them, and with good execution too. Every critical moment in the game, Alabama was able to run the ball.
Yeah.
And the game really wasn't as close as that. I mean, LSU got a cheap one at the end, but, game in and of itself wasn't even that close. I mean, LSU fans are already going home throwing water bottles out on the field.
Yeah. I think they took a page from the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Like, you can't be doing that. Throwing water balls. Like, I think, honest, and this is any team in college football, like, your fans start doing that crap, you get penalized. Like, that punish the team for that. And I know it's like, but why are you punishing the teams for how the fans are acting? You want your team to win? Don't do that.
Yeah, the fans have to learn a lesson. Do you want to help the team and help them win, or do you want to be part of the problem? Penalties, which cause the team to lose. So, I mean, it's smart. Are you a good fan or bad? Is it all about you, or is it about the team? And everybody's down there playing hard. Nobody's not trying to do their job and not trying to help the team win. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. There should be some type of, and if they don't want to call penalty in the game, then obviously they're going to send them a fine or something like that. There's got to be something that kind of deters that type of behavior. But it is LSU. They've been down there all day. I know how it is. They've been down there tailgating all day. So I understand, but still at the end, it's ridiculous. Not good for LSU. Not good for football, but specifically LSU. Come on.
Agreed. Oh, yeah.
But here, the bottom line was, you and I know, numbers don't lie. No, numbers tell the story. They do not lie. We've been on Alabama all season about penalties. Numbers don't lie. Those are negative plays. But in the end right here, Alabama did a better job executing, did a better job tackling, and numbers don't lie.
Agreed. And Sports Talk with Austin says, as Bill Belichick once said, do your job.
Exactly. You got, and Coach Saban, the two of them, do your job every play. Don't take a play off and get off there in la la land, a little whatever you're dreaming up there in your little head, your little whatever. Do your job, concentrate, stay focused every single play while you're out there. Because if you lose focus and get caught up in all the raucous and all the whatever and that kind of stuff, and everybody's whining and crying and bitching and moaning and all that kind of stuff, if you get caught up in that, you're losing your focus. And once you lose focus, anybody knows it's hard to get it back.
Oh yeah,
Very hard.
when you did that whining and crying about what could have been, what should have been, what would have been, you turned to Florida State.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not gonna like dedicate this part of the show to Florida because you know what, like our Florida State friends at the Voice of College Football have suffered enough, but the team they just need a reality check. But anyway, player of the game on offense is 74 Proctor, and defensive player of the game is Damani Jackson. Says 5 Adam,
No
and
problem with that. And I'm going to tell you one play of the game. I'm giving number 52. That pancake, that defensive back was on. You need to run it on. Just run. I wish we. But anyway, forget the video. But you watch it in the game, and that guy is on his keister. Bam! Beautiful play. Beautiful play. That gets one of them little stars on your helmet, one of them little Buckeyes on the back of your helmet. And 52. He got one from me on that one. But hey, do it again.
there we go.
Every down, do it again.
Play it again. There you go.
But I don't know what's going to happen this week with Mercer. They're 9-1. And hey, who'd they lose to?
Sanford, 55 to 35.
Wow. Was that in? Are you got it up there? Was that in Birmingham? Was that over in Macon? Mercer's in Macon, right? Macon, Georgia. I'm right there.
Yeah, Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, yeah, okay. Up there on the hill.
Yep. So
anyway, yeah, that I wish they. I don't know. I just think that in the end they ought to just cut. One game. I think they're just playing one game too many. Just cut it because now, way back in the old days, you played 10 games and then you had a bowl game. Then they upped it to 11 games and bowl game. Now, I mean, they're going to play. I mean, we're already 3 months and they're still playing. They're going to be playing. I mean, 6-month season. And so these type of games, great for Mercer. They're going to get a big paycheck. And, we've talked about that till it's, we all know. But still, it's just a game that only thing it can do is get somebody hurt. So, guys, you know the story. Get out there, get your job done, let other people play.
True.
You can't go out there and just, we've seen the egg laid against Vanderbilt. So can't go out there and just, here I am, no emotion, no anything into it. Just do your job. Have some fun. This is a game you can have some fun. But,
Exactly.
Don't be stupid. Don't be lazy. Don't focus, concentrate, and have fun. And then if you're having fun and everything's going well, then next thing you know, you're letting somebody else get some playing time. And there's a lot of guys on that sideline that would want you to do your job this week so they can get their butts out there and get a little PT. So that's your job. If I'm a coach, I'm saying, hey, get these guys some playing time. They deserve it.
Yeah. Well, and Austin makes a good point about how I'm not too crazy about Cupcake Week because it should be spring game. But I mean, that would be pretty cool if we had like the Mercer game be our spring game. But I mean, it's like it's not. So oh well. But we'll have some fun watching Alabama all the same.
Yeah. And just take care of business and just like what I said. And then you got to move forward with you control your destiny. True. There's a lot of teams out there in NCAA football land that'd love to be in your shoes right now. Don't screw it up.
No.
Nothing stupid. I'm going to tell you who needs to get a lot of playing time this week. Quarterbacks. Ty needs to be in that game early.
Yep.
So we need quarterbacks in there. We need let the guy do your job, have fun, and let the other guys enjoy a good afternoon in the SEC.
And Alabama winning against LSU was huge. And here's what else was huge for us this Saturday: Ole Miss beating Georgia. That was huge right there. I mean, it's like that's not something you see every day. Ole Miss finally winning a big game.
You know what's funny? Let me tell you this. I was in the Delta on Saturday, but I watched the game Saturday night, and I was driving back from over in Cleveland through Clarksdale, get up around Batesville, around Oxford, and I can't tell you the caravan of those Georgia fans having to exit Oxford and drive across Alabama or wherever they were going. But I mean, it was a caravan of Georgia fans. I'm disappointed Georgia fans, I bet, but that was very funny. We got to on Interstate 22. It was just a mass of fans headed to Georgia.
There
It
we
happened.
go.
You got to come to play. Got to come to play, and it's a long season.
There we go.
And Georgia's done. They don't control their destiny. Well, shut up, Johnny. Well, you got Tennessee. Well, we'll see what happens there. But I mean, they're on the outside looking in. I don't even know if they beat Tennessee, they're still going to make it.
Oh man, it's like, I mean, I think
Head to
Georgia.
head, you're going to have to put if they beat Tennessee, Tennessee's only going to have 2 losses. You got Texas A&M, Texas, Tennessee. They're only going to have 2 losses, and then Alabama's at 8 or 9. All right, and then you got Ole Miss 1 or 2 behind us. All right, so there you got head to head with Alabama and Ole Miss. So Georgia, I mean, you're looking in the rearview mirror because you can't put Georgia in over Alabama or Ole Miss. Even if Georgia wins out, I don't know if you can do that.
And Austin has a question for us. Georgia, Tennessee this Saturday. Who should Alabama be cheering for? I'll say that we need to pull for Georgia because Tennessee still has that head-to-head win over us. But we not only need Tennessee to lose to Georgia, but we need them to lose to Vanderbilt. But Austin, you could go ahead and say in the chat the rule that I always put out. Because, and for those that are just tuning in, the rule I always have is don't ever put yourself in a position where you need somebody to win or lose for you. But unfortunately, that's the situation we're in at the moment.
Yeah, we need Tennessee to win because that gives us the win over Georgia. Okay. Well, hold on. Let me rethink that now. We have a little bit to ponder here. All right. So right now we're 8. Georgia's got the 2. And then if they beat Tennessee, now we've got the win over Georgia. And so if Georgia beats Tennessee, no, that doesn't help us. We need Tennessee to beat Georgia. I got to have time to ponder that one.
Well, I mean, luckily that's what this what today's show is about is what we got to do.
Well, it's just interesting because Tennessee's got the win over us. If Georgia beats Tennessee, we've got the win over Georgia. But then they're always going to go to head-to-head. So really it's a moot point. And then in the end, you've got Texas A&M and Texas there, one of them. So the 3 T's are looking pretty good. Two of those 3 T's are going to be in that SEC championship, and more power to them. I've said all along, I'd rather them play that extra game, and then us have an extra week off. I'd rather that, and then go into the playoffs fresh. So I don't care who winds up in that game, but I know if it were me, I wouldn't want to be there.
I think honestly, we're gonna whoever gets in the SEC title game is getting in the playoffs. There's no questions asked about it, and I think whoever finishes 3rd and 4th is getting in as well. I mean, we know the top 4 of the Big Ten's getting in. We know that we're going to see the ACC Big 12 champ gain in. We're obviously going to see the Group of 5 champ gain in. And if Notre Dame keeps doing what they're doing, they're getting in as well. So what I'll do is pull up this article from AL.com about the SEC title game tiebreakers written by Craig Stevenson. And he's got a little something that can solve this little Scooby mystery. The possibility of a 7-way tie. And tiebreakers. Well, the combined winning percentages of all conference opponents for each team. And the record against the highest placed opponent among the teams. Now, I saw something today where we have the most wins against teams in the top 25 in the AP. That includes our win against Georgia, of course. I mean, we still got that win against Missouri, got that win against LSU. There's another one, of course, but oh man, there's been a lot of them this year.
Yeah, crazy how that's going to play out. But the only maybe even it out is if you win the SEC, and then who gets the buys? The top four teams or the top four conference champs?
It's the top four teams that get the
So if
buys,
you
like
get the
the ones who
conference
win the conference
championship,
champions.
all right. So if you get the conference championship, you don't get the bye week.
Yeah,
Which I would say if you won the championship and then got the bye week, then that's okay. But if it were me, I wouldn't not be in the championship and get the bye week. So ever how that bye week scenario plays itself out, that's a lot to ask. Playing
true.
that extra game, and I see it going. I don't think they'll. I don't know in the future if that's going. I mean, because high school football, you win you win your area, you win your conference or whatever, your district, whatever they want to call it, your section, and then you go straight to the playoffs. You don't have to take the top two teams and they play. That was great in the '90s when the dynamic and the model was different. But for today's world, it doesn't work.
It's like I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be something we see in the long term, because it feels like we're going to be seeing this. Who's getting in the conference title? No. It's this team. No, it's that team.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to flip a coin. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Maybe.
and that, Jack, you're right. It's always, I think they've got probably 35 different metrics or measures in which they generate this, but nobody's going to be happy with it.
No.
I mean, nobody's going to be happy with it. I mean, how you determine this, and it's just, once again, the NCAA and their gurus of idiocy have screwed it all up, and they want to think, well, we'll finally it won't be a poll or anything. It'll finally be the winner. Well, but what about all the the polls and the people pumping their little whatever trying to get it to that? You still not going. That's not going. No, that's not gonna be going. It's great in concept, but the way it's been and the way you're wanting it to go is just it's confusing, and nobody's going to be happy. Only one's going to be happy is whoever comes out winning. They'll be happy
for now. Like they'd be happy for now, but in a future year, they're going to be squawking. We know that's going to happen.
Always.
It's a good point. We could see an 8-4 Big 12 champ get a bye week. It's like that. I kind of feel like that's the drawback to all that. Like we could see an 8-4 conference champ or 7-5 conference champ one year.
But is it the top four teams in the country or is it the top conferences?
Top four conference champs.
Wait. I thought you said top 14. You're saying it's the top four conference champs?
Yeah, they're doing it. That's how they're doing it on. Yeah, once they do the playoffs, it's gonna be this team won the SEC. They're in 1-2, Big 10 champ 1-2, AC champ 3, Big 12 champ 4. They all get the bye weeks.
Wow. Okay, so the champion gets the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do when you have somebody? No, I'm thinking ahead of myself on that one. Wow, I thought it was the top four teams. Okay, so it's
should be, but it's.
Oh, that's going to be ugly. Oh, that's going to be ugly.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
So
what happens is you go undefeated. You go undefeated, you get to the conference championship game, and you lose.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're in.
You're not going to get a bye. You're going to be in, yeah, but you're not going to get a bye week. Even
nope.
You won the conference regular season because you were the top team. Because you know what I'm saying, the top two teams in the conference. So you were the top team. You lose, but the winner's the one that's going to get the bye, and you're wow.
Yep.
Wow. Ugly.
Oh yeah.
These geniuses. Geniuses.
Yeah, because I mean, there's gonna be, but I think like the Big Ten and the SEC, they'll be fine. But I don't. I think the Big 12 and the ACC, they're gonna come out as the big losers. Unfortunately, they're the ones that are really gonna get screwed. But that's just my opinion on the matter.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. In a couple of weeks, it's going to be really interesting because we're going to start to know who the whatever that's heading to these conference championships, and we're going to know how this is going to play its way out, and it could get ugly. Nobody's going to be happy. This is and you don't really you read all this stuff, you know, Jack. We read it and we read it and we think we understand it. Oh, I got it figured out and all this other kind of stuff. And then and then when reality hits in, and now we're close to it, and we're seeing all these other little, you know, dynamics that are just raining in, and now you're like, I thought I knew. Dang.
Yeah. And 5 Adam says if we finish 10-2, go to the SEC title game. God forbid we lose, finish season 10-3. We make the playoffs roll. We get in the SEC title game, we're in. It's just a matter of where we would be seated exactly. It's not like the 4-team playoff where it's you got to win and you're in, or you got to hope for some magic to happen. I think honestly, if we play in the SEC title game, we're in. It's just a matter of what seed we're in. Like we win the SEC title, we get that first round bye, we're good to go.
You know, when we talked about this before, and a team goes undefeated and they're left out, and you got a 1-loss team or a 2-loss team that gets voted to whatever. It's the same. They've created the same scenario, and I thought this was supposed to be the final, the fix-all. They've created the same scenario. That somebody's going to get left out, somebody's going to get screwed.
It's like
got to eliminate the bowl games, eliminate the conference championship game. You can't do it.
Yeah. I mean,
high school. Yeah, I mean, you know, Division II, Division I AA, or whatever. They don't have a conference championship game. You know, whoever you're in the playoffs, the other championships just play in the playoffs. You know, and I know we're trying to hang on to the tradition of the SEC championship, which has been the pinnacle in the Southeastern Conference. Now, national championships are great, but SEC championships are also very important. Now they've created something else even more controversial, stupid.
That's it, Austin. That is exactly what Mike Leach was saying it was going to turn into at some point for college football. But we'll wait and see what happens. Like who gets in, who doesn't get in. But I think Alabama will be fine. If we win out, we're gonna be fine. We win out the regular season. We get in the SEC title game, cool. We win it. We get that first round bye. If we don't win the SEC title game, we lose. Like, let's say we do get in. I'm thinking it's going to be around, like, say, like we're going to be at like 5 through 11. We're one of the at-large teams for sure, but I just don't know what ranking we would be exactly. I mean, I know like Penn State, Indiana get in, like Ohio State, Oregon get in. We just don't know what like seeding they would be in exactly. But yeah, 5 Adam has some recruiting news for us about Ivan Taylor. Let's take a look at him, shall we? He's got some magic going on, like Mr. Ivan Taylor, and this is reported by Steve Wiltfong at On3. Great source, that's for sure. Let's take a look. There we go. And it looks like he could be flipped from Michigan. How about that? What do you think about that, Johnny? Getting some more magic in our 2025 recruiting class. Oh, yeah.
What is he flipping? Or so how many more times they're going to flip, flop, flip, flop? Whatever. What's that guy? Is he changing his commitment?
It's looking likely from the way it's looking. But according to Steve Wiltfong, it could happen.
Well, I said it last week, and I'll say it again this week. All I'm looking at is the portal. I mean, I'm gonna find those, those proven players in the portal. I'm more worried. I'm more concerned about the portal rankings than I am, 18, 19-year-old soon to be millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you're going to build your team. I don't care what other people say. Da, la, la, la. Yeah, that's where you're going. These freshmen, I mean, they're going to wind up. They'll have to start off kind of like in baseball. Start off in the minor leagues. They're going to have to start off in the lower tiers of conference teams, and then work. Build your NIL from there. I'm convinced. I don't know. I may be wrong, but we'll see.
We will definitely wait and see. And it looks like we've got an official visit from a 4-star wide receiver at Florida. I'm guessing he's not liking the culture in Gainesville as of right now. But he is going to take a visit to Alabama this week. Nashawn Montgomery. I got to tell you, I'm curious to see what he's going to bring for the future. Like I'm liking where he's at, and we do have the #1 recruiting class of 2025. Let's continue to put some more icing on that cake.
I thought the girl last week said it was LSU had the one. Is it Alabama?
Yep, it's Alabama.
I'll tell you how they're going to start ranking these guys. It won't be, the metrics of weight, speed. It'll be how much money they get in NIL or, whatever. There must be, they'll start looking at that. I don't know. It's stupid. And it's, the only way they're going to fix it, the only way I see it being fixed is these players are going, like the old days. If you transfer, you have got to sit out a year. It's the way it was when I played. It's the way it's been until of recently. And if you go, because that's the only stability that's going to happen. I mean, it's going to get bizarre. We're going to start hearing more and more bizarre stories out there. And if you're going to transfer, you got to sit out a year. That'll calm it down because it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. And 5 Adams says, Nashawn, I watch his highlights. Reminds me of Ryan Williams route running and hands. Let's add up to our passing game. Let's help our QBs. Absolutely. I like getting more weapons for our offense. That's pretty huge right there. Got to get that passing game rolling. And again, our buddy Troy V says, build your base with recruiting and fill holes with the portal. I like that because you don't want to get overly reliant on the transfer portal. And you don't want to get overly reliant on, hoping that the #1 recruiting class will save the day and be like, oh, well, I'm not going to get a guy from the transfer portal. No. You got to have a little bit of everything. You got to fill up that recruiting class, and you got to fill up the portal fill up those holes with the portal additions. Because,
the only problem with, and I understand. I know where a lot of people are coming from, and I get it. But the biggest problem you have, start with a freshman base, but you can't depend on the freshmen to stay after their freshman year.
Exactly.
Isaiah Bonds, boom, he's gone. You can't depend on them to stay after the freshman year unless they got to sit out a year. And so if that were the case, I would, freshmen and that type of recruiting is important. But now that you can't depend on them staying, we got guys
let's show them the traditions of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the magic that Alabama brings, in the short term, long term. Let's show the family members as well. And because Sports Talk with Austin makes a great point. Clemson has to learn the lesson of the portal. Agreed. And Florida State got way too overly reliant on the portal, and it's biting them in the rear. They weren't focused enough on recruiting, and we see how that's going. And Troy V says, as long as you guys keep bringing in the big names as freshmen, my Buckeyes will keep picking off your real good ones. LOL.
He's like me. And well, hey, we'll get some of yours.
But our guy 5 Adam, who we've just made a moderator, said the only area we need to improve is D line next year. Yeah, we gotta get some D linemen. We gotta get them.
Well, that's what we said earlier. What we're missing on defense, those edge rushers. Anderson and those guys out there. Where are they? And now they're starting, to get a little variety with their, blitzes and stunts and things of that nature, and which helps. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. Defensive line, edge rushers, put pressure. You got to put pressure on that quarterback. And when he breaks that pocket, you got to tattoo his little rear end. Got to make him pay. We used to make them have to sit back there. They didn't want to get outside that pocket.
Oh yeah. Oof. But yeah, so our guy Stephen M. Smith has some news for us, and this is according to Kalen DeBoer as of today in the press conference. And it's about our former 4-star linebacker, and he's suspended for an undisclosed time. He's not going to be playing against Mercer. Keanu Colt is suspended from the team. Johnny, what's your take on it?
I don't know. People, I know he's been around a while. He's probably frustrated with playing time and probably usually stuff like that. I'd be surprised if it's academics, but usually it's when you're mouthing when you're mouthing with a teammate, that's one thing, but probably starting to mouth it with a coach. A lot of little chippy stuff going on in the background. Just usually that's something going on with a coach. Unless now, I don't know. I'm just saying if it's football related, with something like that, it's usually something going on in dynamics within the team, probably a coach. But if it's outside of football, I don't know if he got arrested or blah, blah, blah. But he hasn't known, I haven't heard anything of like that, in his character to do that kind of stuff. He's always seemed to be pretty much involved in the team and that kind of stuff. So not making stupid decisions. So unless it's playing time and mouthing off at a coach and, seems like if it's something within, it'd be something more along that basis.
Well, 5 Adam says 31 Bandit Keon Keeley played well, interim pushing the pocket. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's we have got to get some depth for linebacker. We need it bad.
Yeah, Q was hurt this week. Season ending. Have you heard what it was? I just got a post earlier today. I don't know if it's a knee or I thought it was I don't know. But I know he's definitely out.
True.
That's gonna be a loss right there. We'll have to make up for it big time.
Yeah. So we've and Troy V asked, how confident are you guys with DeBoer on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, I've been first half of the season, we've all questioned it, with Womack, and I really coming out in that 3-3-5. I know everybody's tired of hearing me say that, but in all honesty, so since that change has been made, I've been tackling has gotten a little better, and my thing too, out on the secondary, too many hands and not enough positioning with your body instead of grabbing people and stuff like that, and cutting all that down. So we've seen we've seen improvement, and it takes several games to get continuity within the team. All of a sudden they're showing up now, and the summer, and all of a sudden they got to find each other and figure each other out, and all the little cliques they develop into friendships and stuff like that. And so about halfway through the season, everything starts to get ironed out, and you figure out who the winners and the losers are, and You start making those changes as coaches. You know, you can depend on who's going to play every down and give you everything they got. And yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, and all that kind of stuff. And so it's now we're at the point of the season that you get on a roll or you don't.
There you go. I mean, so we've got our Nets game, of course, for Cupcake Week. And we've got our score prediction all set. Well, I mean, I've got mine all set, but what is your score prediction for Alabama Mercer, Johnny?
Teams like that usually get a cheap one. That's a 40 to 50 to 3 or 7.
43-7.
Game should be over at the end of the first quarter. 21-0. Ty Simpson ought to be. Ty Simpson better be taking snaps at quarterback at the start of the second quarter.
Yep.
No, if I'm a coach, I'm gonna be getting in somebody's grill.
There you go. Here we go. Johnny Burst prediction 4-3-7.
Yeah. Defense is getting more dependable.
There we go. And, you know, to show that great minds always think alike, my prediction 49-10. I mean, it should be dominating. I mean, I want to see some magic from Ty Simpson. I want to see what we've got ahead for 2025 for the future. Because, I mean, of course, I want to finish out 2024 on a strong note. I want to be able to see the Crimson Tide get that natty, get that SEC title for a second straight year. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if we don't, then we trudge on 2025. We see what we got.
Yeah, you just want to keep yourself in the mix. Give yourself an opportunity. And be one of the teams that are there at the end, because those are the teams that are going to get the best out of the portal. Those are the teams that are going to have the future opportunities. If you're not in that situation right now, it's going to be tough for the future.
Oh, yeah.
Hugh Freeze may be finding that out real soon.
Oh yeah, Hugh Freeze. I wonder if Auburn is gonna keep him or fire him, because I feel like they're screwed if they fire him.
Well, then the money. They throw all this stupid money. I mean, stupid money. Guys making $60 million a year and stupid money. I mean, what are they thinking? There's a lot of great coaches out there that don't, draw that kind of idiot money.
Oof.
It's rare these days you can find a coach that's going to stay around for more than 4 or 5 years.
Oh man,
Saban. I mean, back in the old days, Coach Brown was there 25 years. You could depend on that. In today's world, 3 or 4 years, everybody's mad or whatever, and you're gone. One bad season away.
But and a buddy of ours, Sean Garner, said that if you're looking for logical thinkers, you're not going to find it in the sports world or in politics.
Agreed. Agreed. There's a bunch of talking heads.
True. It's just like one minute, everybody's happy with a coach. Next minute, everybody hates them.
Yeah. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah. Because, what have you done for me lately is a good stance to have, but it should be for 4 years, like a 4-year trial, 5-year trial, not a 1-year trial. Because, I mean, you can't just be throwing the baby out with the bathwater after one bad day. Like, oh, God, I slipped on a banana peel. No, you're fired. I know that's how it rolls in the SEC, but it's going to bite some of these teams.
Yeah. There's only so many good coaches around. And right now, a lot of teams are just trying to hit, just get lucky picking somebody. And I'm nothing against Coach Freeze. I'm sure he's a great coach and stuff like that. But, I mean, you had Miles on. It was whatever. Hard to compete against Saban. But, I mean, you're just looking for the next greatest thing. And that's the way it's been of the last 20, 30 years. It's hard finding somebody a proven winner with experience and that kind of stuff. It's harder and harder to do. We're in the age of electronics. Everything's instant. You don't want to see that little spiraling little thing on the computer saying buffering or anything like that. You want it right now. Give me.
It's like it's like the young girl on Willy Wonka going, I want it now.
A lot of things take time. You're lucky if you get it now.
True.
Luck is rare.
But speaking of I want it now, shop on Amazon using the link to support the Voice College Football. You don't need to buy the product display. Doesn't cost you a penny, and you get the same shopping experience right here on the Amazon link. It gets Mark paid at the Voice College Football, and it gets us paid big time as well right here at Voice College Football. And you also help yourself because you get some top notch quality gear from the Voice College Football.
Hmm.
So come on in and shop on the Amazon link down below. And because this week, I mean, it just feels like it's gonna be a boring week but apparently that means we're gonna see upsets come our way.
Have you seen where's college game day? They're going to Georgia, Tennessee.
Georgia, Tennessee, of course they are.
That's where they're going. Okay, because that's really one of the few games that I saw out there. I hate that about old Herb Street's
Dog,
his retriever, cute dog, and he was old, and gosh, I know it had to be tough on him. I've had to do the same thing, put him down and save their misery and stuff. And I was just those retrievers are so friendly, so nice, so wonderful companions. Oh, I hated that when I saw, but I think he's got a couple others. So, but yeah, a good dog. I mean, you're lucky if your life and in your life you have just that one. I mean, we have a bunch of dogs in our lives, but there's always that one. So I hate it because I'm pretty sure that's probably it for him.
But
the others are fine and that kind of stuff. But you're just lucky if you get that one.
That's true, man. And our guy 5 Adams says, "CUPCAKE, you must watch future young players for next year." That is agreed. And before we go, Johnny, what adventures do you have this week?
Just ACT. I know it's a just spinning wheel, same thing. But I'll be Florence tomorrow, and then I'll be down South Alabama and doing a little bit of that, and then headed back home and hoping everything's starting to slow down. So I'm ready for the the fall season and stuff like that, and just kind of do some things around the house. Those honeydew jobs and those jobs that I'm kind of passionate about. So, but yeah, still teaching.
There you go. And
got to get those ACT scores up.
There you go. And you check out Johnny Burt's on Facebook on Johnny Burt's period 5. And let's get him on X and Instagram. Let's get our buddy on Instagram. Let's get him on there, man. Because I mean, the world needs to hear your takes, man.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm a little hardcore old school, so.
But there's so many people missing out on your experience. Like they are missing out on hearing your takes. And of course, you can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube, where I am 114 subs away from the magic number 500. So if you look up Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube, you will see my channel there, and you can like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Click on that notification so you don't miss no video whatsoever. And for more updates on Alabama at the Voice College Football and the Jacksonian, and some more of my adventures here at the Voice College Football with Mark and friends, check me out on Jackson VOCFB on X, where you hear my takes here and there. And you can also check me out on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. And don't forget, Thursday night is the Alabama Call-In Show, the 6th edition, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports and I take your calls discussing your takes on the Alabama Crimson Tide. And let me tell you something, it'll be a wild ride. And Saturday will be the Alabama Mercer post-game show, where Johnny and I go over our takeaways from the Alabama Mercer game, and we go over our takes on the future young players. And let me tell you something, it's a fun one. And for that, like, comment, subscribe to Alabama at the Voice of College Football. We are 53 subs away from the magic number 2,500. What are you doing to help beat Texas and Oklahoma? Because like those new kids of the SEC are dominating us. They're dominating us. Texas is getting closer to 3,000 subs. Oklahoma at the Voice of College Football is getting closer to 6,000 subs. Let's get Alabama at the Voice of College Football to 3,000 subs before Texas at the Voice of College Football does. And also, you have an invite to Alabama, to the YouTube membership tier of Alabama at the Voice of College Football. And with that, you can get top-notch quality notes on our takes on Alabama football from me, Johnny, and Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports. And I tell you right now, we're going to get this channel rolling. We're getting it rolling and getting it over to 3,000 subs, getting it to 6,000, 10,000, and much more. We're getting it there. We are working every day. We're hustling. And for that, we wish y'all a good night and stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out, and have a happy Monday. Take care, everybody. Roll Tide.
Yeah. All right, I gotta feed the pups. Feed the pups.